Hey everyone, my name is Kelsey, and I am bringing to you our February 2025 budget. So, we are a family of four who live in regional Victoria, Australia, and I wanted to put our budget out there to share with others a real life budget of someone living in Australia. I don't see a lot of expats, I guess, sharing their budgets and the real expenses of a family with people from other countries. So, part of us have Medicare, which we'll talk about more under our daily expenses and the cost of healthcare that it's costing us to live here in Australia. And myself, I am from America, the United States, and I don't have Medicare. So, pay for private health, and you'll see that in our budget. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my spotlight here to help you follow along with what I'm talking about for our budget. So I use the Every Dollar budgeting program for our family budget. I have tried other things like Excel spreadsheets, WeMoney, some other apps, and this is probably my favorite. It's very easy to use. Unfortunately, I can't link our bank accounts because they don't have that capability with being an Australian bank account, but I'm able to just quickly do the data entry and adding our transactions into this program. So let's get started. We have our budget broken down into four categories. It's our debt, savings, daily expenses, and splurges. So we also have kind of benchmarks that we want to hit. We don't always get there, but that's okay. Some months are better than others. So for our debt, our benchmark is 20%, but we only spent 6% on debt. So we have a Centerlink debt and a credit card debt. The Centerlink we paid $200 towards, and this is a small debt. We have a back payment to Centerlink because we underestimated our income and they overestimated our childcare subsidy credits about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And so we found that out when we did our taxes. So small debt to pay for Centerlink. And our credit card, we just put $250 towards that. It's just super small. We mostly have it for earning frequent flyer points. We travel and we like to use points to help offset the cost of flights or hotels. So those are our two debts. We have savings, and we put $200 towards a savings account this month and $7.81, which is the extra to transfer for the end of the month. $7.81 was left over. So we just flicked that over. Ideally, we put 10% over to our savings, but this month we only did 3%. And you'll find out why when we do our daily expenses. Our goal is 60%, but we actually did 79%. So almost 80%, 20% more than ideal. But we have some very expensive health expenses. So bit of a bummer, but that's what it is. We paid our rent. Water is every 4 months, so we didn't have water or gas this month, but we did have electricity, and that was $373.87. Our Telstra bill is $160, and that includes two phones, an iPad data plan, and also a watch data plan, which I think the watch is only like $5 and the iPad is $10, so the rest is for two phones. We have home maintenance and repair, which was $0 this month, a life insurance policy of $41.12. And we have Medibank private health insurance, which was $170 for the month. And then I have Bupa, which is an overseas healthcare fund, and that is $383.60 for the month. I pay just shy of $200 per fortnight. So my private health is, like I said, an overseas healthcare fund, so I don't receive Medicare. My Bupa pays for everything I need. I do have, of course, out-of-pocket expenses, and I have to pay in excess if I go to the hospital or have anything in hospital treatment. There is an excess for me to pay. For petrol this month, we must not have traveled very much because it was only $170. So that's only two fill ups for the month. Nothing for maintenance, repairs, and tires for our cars, but we do have the My Key card at $60. So we probably took the train instead of driving towards the city, and so that lowers our petrol bill. No car wash for the month of February, but we did have tolls parking, and that was $60. So I believe we had two toll trips, and then parking was the remainder. We went to the city once. We have RACV for our transportation insurance for our cars. One was 170, the other was 260. And within that 260, that also included an annual roadside assist that we purchase. Vic Roads, which is our registration, and we have decided to do the pay every 3 months for each car, and that was $200 for the month of February. Here's the fun stuff. Food. I would love to know how much you guys are paying for food. I feel like whatever we do, we try and lower it, and it's still so high. But I think this is within range of normal. You'll have to let me know in the comments if this is what you guys are spending as well for groceries. So Aldi, we spent $400. Woolies and Kohl's, which is mostly Woolies, we spent just shy of $700. And for other, which would be like the local market or local grocery store, anything not Woolies, Kohl's, and Aldi's, was $265. Quite a bit for food, but we are a family of four, eating regular meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. School fees and uniform. School just went back, so we have only recently received our invoice for that. So that will start in March. But for a uniform, we added maybe a piece or two for $37. Now, for the fun stuff, health. We have the chemist. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Health for medicines. Scripts. We spent $66 on pharmacy scripts for the month. And the chemist, we spent $156. So the chemist is a little bit different than the scripts because this will include any vitamins or over the counter medication. That's $156. And the scripts was $66 on medicine for the month. GP specialists and dentists. I find this to be so high and I can't figure out how to get it lower. It's $545 for the month of February. We did go to the GP, I know that, probably at least twice. And I think the GP out of pocket expense, the GP cost $96, I think, or $92 to go to the GP, and you get $35 back, I believe. The dentist is, I don't think, even covered under Medicare. If so, it's a teeny tiny bit. Private health covers a little bit, but three of us went to the dentist for the month of February. So future, maybe I will, it sounds silly, but make our dental cleans for our teeth different months so we're not slammed with this big expense. And a specialist. I know I went to a specialist this month. So out of pocket for that specialist was probably only maybe $90 for myself. Osteo, physio, and massage was $212, and speech and allied health services was $282. We believe in getting professional mental health services, and for the counseling services this month, we spent $21. I know my rebate for mental health services or for specialists is quite high. So I'm very fortunate that that is my rate for going to see someone. Beauty, which I find a necessity, which is my eyebrow wax, and that was $40. And that's every month that I go. And Spotify Premium, we find this to be a necessity. It's $14 a month. We don't want to listen to the commercials, so that's what we're paying. But for Netflix, we don't mind listening to commercials, and that's $8. We have two Apple expenses. One is for insurance, which is for my phone, and the other is storage. So either someone's iPad or iPhone is at capacity for storage, so we pay a little bit extra. And that's something we'll think about next time when we buy phones, is we might need to up the gigabyte space on those phones and not buy the smallest gigabyte space for the phone. So we'll see. So that wraps up our daily expenses. Again, 60% is the goal, and we spent nearly 80%. So a little bit high, but we can tell the high categories are food for the groceries and health, which you can't really get rid of both. We have our splurges. Our goal is 10%, and we paid 3%. Sorry, excuse me, 13%. So not bad, pretty close. 10% is the goal, 13% is what we spent. No haircuts this month, but these four expenses right here are for individual people in our family. So we buy what we need for that month or would like to have. We don't set a set amount per month of like everyone in the household gets $100. It's whatever you're needing that month. Happy to purchase. Restaurants was zero. Takeaway, I'm so happy. It was only $123. I think that's pretty low. Entertainment was $250. We went on a choo-choo train this month as a family outing, and we went to a concert. We saw Luke Combs at the beginning of February, and that is paying for like our concert drinks and some food, not including the tickets because we bought those last year. Birthday gifts for our family. We just finished off the month spending $12 for that. Takeaway coffee. You should be so proud. $12. So that means we got coffee once for the month of February. We have a beautiful coffee machine at home, BZ10, and we make our espresso in our own kitchen. Zip payment of $40. The gym, $43 for the month. And Zoos Victoria, $27.50. I can't wait to get rid of this. This is our last month paying. I forgot to cancel the subscription last year, and there wasn't an option to cancel it throughout the year. So I did email them to say, hey, I made a mistake. I forgot to cancel. Can we cancel? And the answer was no. So a bit of a bummer, but that's okay. So that was our last payment. So next month we'll have $30 extra to be spending in this category. And other items was $45. So just miscellaneous of things that don't have a category that we spent on. So, well, this wraps up our February 2025 budget. Let me know if you have any questions or if you can relate to these budget items, these categories. How do you set up your budget? And do you pay this much for healthcare for where you live and for groceries? Let me know. This is the closing out of our February 2025 budget. Again, this is my first video for family budgeting. I hope to share next month for the month of March. So March 2025 is next, and I'll see you then. Bye.